Hello there. Internet censorship is back on as the UK government refuses to water down its online safety bill with the latest changes. Now, if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe and then like and comment below. The previous Culture Secretary Nadine Dorries introduced a new concept in her online safety bill, and that was the tyrannical power of government to censor anything online that it deems is legal but harmful, and be able to inflict heavy fines on social media giants that expose their viewers to such material. And this obviously opens a Pandora's box of possibilities and would force social media platforms to censor just about anything that was even mildly controversial or face huge government-imposed fines. Algorithms would sweep in and make sure that for the UK, the web was a sanitised white sheet of paper, free of all opinion and controversy. An emotionless black hole. The material would be available elsewhere in the world, of course, but just not here in the UK. The UK would become censorship central. Now, after a lot of campaigning by free speech bodies, it looked like that particular part of the bill had been removed. But now it looks like the legal but harmful rule will remain to protect those under 18 that use the web. The trouble is, of course, that social media algorithms have absolutely no idea who is under or over 18, and therefore who needs to be protected. The only way to do that would be for everyone using the web in the UK having to log on with a government-approved ID system, and even that wouldn't be foolproof. But anonymity and freedom of expression are not always good bedfellows. Therefore, to keep themselves safe from fines, social media companies will have to assume that everyone logging on in the UK is under 18 and censor the material they have access to accordingly. So it seems we're back to square one on this. The Tories pushing through a political tool normally associated with the overbearing communists, such as the Chinese Communist Party. Now it appears that the government was thwarted in its initial intent of pushing through this draconian assault on our freedoms of expression, but it has now found a neat way of reimposing it via the back door. Either that or our new Culture Secretary Michelle Donnellan and the rest of the Cabinet are clueless where the internet is concerned. And I wonder how many of them have heard of VPNs, the virtual private network that allows you to appear to the web as if you are somewhere that you are not. Or are they planning to ban those in time in the UK? So there goes the first one. I said yesterday that the smaller oil company industry body Brindex was warning that its members would either leave or go under unless the Chancellor put a floor price in place with the new 75% rate of energy windfall tax. And today we hear that the French oil company Total Energies has decided to cut investment in the North Sea. Great news for the Greens and all the eco-loons out there, but not so much good news for the rest of us. The company is pulling 25% of its funding, says the Telegraph, and that's about 100 million quid. But it involves axing plans for an additional infill well at one of its sites. And Total says that the windfall tax punishes short-term investment in things like infill wells. The Telegraph says that a Norwegian oil company, Equinor, is due to make a decision about its future operations in the North Sea next February, and quotes Total's UK chairman as saying, "A competitive and stable fiscal and regulatory regime is vital to investment in critical energy and infrastructure projects that will support the UK's security of supply and net zero ambitions." The UK might just survive this winter, but the next one will be a doozy if this goes on. And imagine if Labour were in power right now, we'd probably already be sitting in the dark and cold. A lot is being made of the drubbing that the Tories got at the hands of Labour in yesterday's Chester by-election. Labour won with an increased majority, gaining another 11.6% of the vote to get 61.2%, while the Tories dropped 15.9% to end the night on 22.4%, just over a third of Labour's result. In fact, it's the biggest defeat for the Tories in Chester since 1832. And Labour is crowing. But does it really surprise anyone? Really? And talk in the diminishing Tory circles is that they hope Rishi Sunak can do enough over the next 2 years to limit the losses at the next general election. The worrying thing for me, though, is that only Labour, the Tories and the Lib Dems got their deposits back. None of the smaller parties got above 3% of the vote. It seems that the British public is still quite content with the 2.5 party state. No wonder things never get better. And if Rishi stays in number 10, all I see is more of the rudderless same, a poorer nation and a few tax sweeteners in the run-up to the next election. So, the EU spent €375 million on developing an immersive metaverse platform to promote its Global Gateway Investment Initiative. And 6 people turned up for the party. Yes, €375 million for an online experience to get young people enthused about the EU and its foreign policy initiative to mobilise €300 billion by 2027. And Devex.com reported last month that a Commission spokesperson described the new platform as a dedicated metaverse where one can explore what the global gateway means through a series of hero stories in a virtual environment. But Devex also said that initial responses were not very complimentary. Depressing and embarrassing was one. Digital garbage, said another. And worse. And what did Devex think? Devex found the experience, on mobile and laptop, rather stilted. Perhaps an indictment of internet quality in Brussels, the de facto capital of the European Union. And one Devex reporter showed up for the online party on the 29th of November and tweeted, "I'm here at the gala concert in the EU Foreign Aid Department's €387,000 metaverse, designed to attract non-politically engaged 18 to 35-year-olds, see story below. After initial bemused chats with the roughly 5 other humans who showed up, I am alone." Where were the hordes of pro-EU press? Where was the BBC? Good to see the EU has a great comms strategy there, isn't it? And good to see the EU is looking after its citizens' dosh during a cost of living crisis. And finally, when subscribing, please don't forget to press that little bell and also select the all option, or you won't get any notifications when I publish a new video. And thank you all so much for taking the time to watch the show.